Right, viewers of Equinoxe Television, we thank you so much for joining us on this other edition of the news today. Our magistrates, right away, viewers, it is exactly 6 years that the lifeless body of the late Bishop of the Bafia Diocese, Monseigneur Jean-Marie Benoit Bala, was discovered in a river days after he was reported missing from his diocese. The famous questions have been asked: who killed Monseigneur Jean-Marie Benoit Bala, and how far has the Catholic Church and the state gone with the investigations which were opened? Babila Jonathan will come back to the murder of the late Bishop of the Bafia Diocese in this edition. And also today has been commemorated as the World No Tobacco Day. It is a day to sensitize consumers of tobacco that tobacco really kills. Viewers, those are our major stories. Stay with us for details and more. Welcome back, viewers. We thank you so much for always being with us on the 6 p.m. newscast every day on Equinoxe Television. It is in the English language, and my name is Anna Bilaliku. We just told you in the headlines, viewers, it is exactly 6 years that the lifeless body of the late Bishop for the Bafia Diocese, Monseigneur Jean-Marie Benoit Bala, was found in a river days after it was discovered or was reported missing. And now the question has always been: who killed Monseigneur Jean-Marie Benoit Bala? The question has been very recurrent. Meantime, the matter seems to be dying a natural death, as Babila Jonathan tells us in the report which comes up next.
6 years ago, he disappeared from public view, 30th May 2017, and his corpse later discovered in River Sanaga, June 2nd of the same year. He is Bishop Jean-Marie Benoit Bala of the Bafia Diocese of the Roman Catholic Church. The phrase "Je suis dans l'eau," translated as "I am in the water," went viral. It was written on a piece of paper found in the bishop's vehicle miles away from where his corpse was found. Based on this and other findings of the police, the possibility of suicide emerged. But this was quickly dismissed by Roman Catholic Church authorities in Cameroon, who said they had evidence that Bishop Jean-Marie Benoit Bala was brutally assassinated. And several years after investigations were opened by international police investigators, there is still a dispute between the church and the government over what happened and who did what to Bishop Jean-Marie Benoit Bala.
Nous, évêques du Cameroun, affirmons que Monseigneur Jean-Marie Benoit Bala ne s'est pas suicidé. Il a été brutalement assassiné.
The church has maintained that he was assassinated.
Il a été tué.
But who assassinated Bishop Bala is yet to be clearly made known to the public. Besides high-ranking officials of the church like the then National Episcopal Conference President and Present Archbishop of Douala, His Amugumbela, of the Cathedral Saint Sebastien of Bafia, said, I quote, "The bishop was abducted, held hostage, and violently murdered."
May the soul of the bishop continue to rest in peace. And now we talk health. Helping smokers quit cigarettes and equally preventing youth from being interested in smoking is the reason why World No Tobacco Day is commemorated every year on May 31. Immaculate Fogwe, in the report which comes up next, explains to us the dangers connected to tobacco consumption.
Richard Eric Bear started smoking cigarettes at the age of 19. After smoking for several years, he decided to quit smoking 6 years ago. His decision to quit smoking came after he visited the hospital. Before, I used to drink and smoke a lot. Sometimes I won't eat the whole day, but I will drink and smoke. So one day, I felt sick and I decided to go to the hospital. While there, I was told my sugar level was very high. I was later informed by the doctor that I was diabetic, so I commenced treatment immediately. The next day, after smoking a stick of cigarette, I took the decision never to smoke again. It has been 6 years that I quit smoking, and I'm happy I did. Amid growing cases of cancer across the world, smoking causes 30% of all cancer-related deaths and makes up to 80% of lung cancer deaths. Despite the dangers, smoking is still prevalent, especially among youths. I am really shocked with the way youths are so interested in smoking tobacco. The new one that is trending now is shisha, equally known as hookah. Every gathering, you find youths smoking it. Smoking is really bad for our health. With the aim of encouraging smokers to quit smoking and also prevent young people from starting the habit, the World Health Organization decided to commemorate World No Tobacco Day on May 31st. This year's theme is, "We need food and not tobacco." It is worth noting that quitters never win, but in the case of tobacco, quitters are the real winners.
And now over to this human interest story in Douala, workers of Emily Sake. It is a private or a denominational church of Union des Églises Baptistes du Cameroon closed their doors today. They are protesting against the return of their former director who, according to them, maltreated and deprived them of their salaries. The chief of Bonakwama was there to calm down the workers. Our reporter Lucille Yengu is here, was there. She now tells us what happened.
Tension among the workers of Emily Sake, a denominational hospital of the Union des Églises Baptistes du Cameroon located in the city of Douala. The workers are decrying the inhuman treatment inflicted on them by their former director, Dr. Pierre-David Ebousse, during his command.
We not want that doctor again because when he want to pay us, he pay us half of salary. Half, not our totally salary. We work, but we not see the money. We decided, our personnel, we decided we don't want it again.
A decision passed on April 2023 by one of the medical coordinators of UABC in the South region dismissed Dr. Pierre-David Ebousse from his functions. He was replaced by Dr. Senji Bateten Ani Grace in the position of interim director. The workers say they are against the return of Dr. Pierre-David as he violated their rights and threatened them.
Since he goes 2 months ago, we don't want it again. But we have all our salary. When he's not here, we always talk. We not want that doctor again for a year. We not want it again. Chief
Edube Dikoto Pondo David of the Bonamouan clan visited the hospital to calm the angry workers. A message of peace is what I conveyed, and I hope that peace returns. We are doing everything within our power to ensure that there is peace. On May 25, 2023, the workers of Emily Sake addressed a letter to the church reiterating the maltreatment they received from their former director.
In other news, urban disorder continues to defeat diverse combat measures employed by municipal officials across the economic capital of Douala. Despite sensitization, warnings, and even sanctions, traders continue to occupy pavements and footpaths in major markets of the city. The Dakar market, or Marché Dakar in the Douala 3 municipality, is not left out of this phenomenon. Come on, from Douala 1 to Douala 6. For me, Armstrong Sanda tells us about the state of urban disorder in Douala.
On this stretch of the road at the Dakar market in the Douala 3 municipality, traders and pedestrians battle for space. In these parts of the city of Douala, the pavement and the footpath is completely inexistent, having been taken hostage by roadside vendors and traders. Their goods and merchandise are exposed directly on the pavement, making passage near impossible for any moving object. The disorderly and illegal occupation of the footpath is done in flagrant disrespect of measures undertaken by municipal authorities. The traders and the municipal police are engaged in a cat and rat fight on daily basis. Once dislodged, the traders turned back immediately after the departure of the municipal agents. These traders says 500 francs CFA is collected from them every week for occupying the pavement. Jean-Robert Wafo, former deputy mayor of the Douala 2 Council, says it is part of council revenue known as the temporary occupation of the public roads tax, the OTVP tax system, though abused by some unscrupulous council agents. He, however, regrets that this tax system is what most traders capitalize on in order to continue to illegally occupy the pavement.
Nous avons interdit et nous les avons sensibilisés.
At the Douala 3 Council, the fourth deputy mayor, Vincent Gambe, frowns at the uncivic behavior of traders and some actors. He says the traders are adamant despite sensitizations, warnings and coercive measures from the council.
À nous la faute? No.
Traders on their part think the problem is elsewhere. These traders says they are always willing to occupy shops in the market, but the shops are not available. With a fast-growing population, Jean-Robert Wafo thinks a sustainable solution lies in creating new market outlets in order to decongest the existing ones. He thinks this should also be applied in the road network sector in order to limit the urban traffic congestion witnessed by Douala city dwellers. Also linked to the illegal occupation of the footpath is the bad state of some road stretches across the city.
Now over to the far north region. The family members of Bintu, the woman who was killed by 4 elephants in the far north region, have been visited with messages of encouragement and comfort from the Minister of Forestry and Wildlife, Jules Dorendongo. While Marwa, he also met with forestry officials and local authorities to brainstorm on actions to prevent elephants and other wild animals from straying. Innocent Aze is among that beat.
Forestry and Wildlife Minister Jules Dorendongo, forestry personnel and governor of the Far North region being welcomed by family members of late Bintu, the woman who was killed by one of the 4 elephants that went on rampage on May 21st, 2023. He is in Bogo to express his condolences to the grieving family.
When coming to Marwa, we had 2 main objectives. We wanted to pay a visit to the family of the person who died on 23rd of May. Recently, one Mrs. Bintu. We did it within the premise of the Lamino of Bogo. And we express a message of tolerance of government and the Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife.
Being another objective of the Marwa visit, the aforementioned personalities, including senior divisional officers, mayors, regional councillors, also sat to discuss on actions to be put in place so that elephants freely migrate in search of water and food without destruction and killing like the recent case.
Important meeting where we took some major decisions. First, to free up and preserve wildlife migration corridors, notably for elephants, because today, and I'm happy to say that the population of elephants and hippopotamus is increasing. It means that we are doing a good job. But the problem is that we have to share the same species because we are looking for food, we are looking for water, and because of climate change, animals are looking for food and space.
In the course of the meeting that also grouped allies from across the region, the minister pledged to ensure the population do not experience same incidents again.
We meet at those fields, we meet at those sites, and there's conflict. So we have to build up conditions where animals and human beings will live in coherence, in harmonious, and in a good coexistence.
At the end of the come together, Minister Jules Dorendongo handed over signposts to the regional delegates of forestry and wildlife, indicating the corridors of elephants. He also used the occasion to caution the population from constructing on the paths of these elephants.
And now we come back to this element out of our national frontiers. The new president of Africa's largest democracy, Nigeria, has used his inaugural address to make a major policy announcement to ease pressure on government finances. Bola Tinubu Ahmed said the decades-long subsidy on petroleum products was being scrapped. Fuel subsidy is gone, he told a packed crowd in the capital, Abuja. He won disputed elections with a promise to renew hope, but he faces tough economic and security challenges. It is not clear when the new policy will kick in, but ending the subsidy will lead to a rise in the price of petrol and could have a knock-on effect on other prices. Previous Nigerian governments have tried and failed to end the subsidy that was first introduced in the 1970s. Despite its oil wealth, Nigeria is unable to refine enough crude oil to meet local demand, so it imports petroleum products which are then sold at a government-set price. But the subsidy is a huge drain on public finances. Last year, it gobbled 4.3 trillion naira, and for the first half of this year, 3.36 trillion naira was budgeted for it. The new president said the subsidy could no longer be justified and that the funds would instead be spent on public infrastructure and to improve the lives of the Nigerian population. And now let's listen to a Nigerian lawyer, advocate for good governance, justice and equity, human rights crusader, public policy and social affairs analyst. He now analyzes that decision of the Tinubu government in this excerpt.
Campaigns, I can't remember any of the major political party or any of the presidential candidate actually campaigning with retention of the subsidy. All of them campaigned that we are going to yank up the subsidy, and also coupled with the fact that the outgoing government also did not budget for subsidies. So, but what people really are quarreling about is that it shouldn't have come on, shouldn't have been announced on the day of inauguration, and that's simply, the major problem. And then there's panic buying, also coupled with the attitude of Nigerians, people who also wanted to want to take advantage of the situation. People who have old stocks are now, hoarding, wanting to sell at a new price. And then people also wanted to buy with the expectations that at least let them even manage the old price before it gets, to the new price regime is introduced. So that's why there's all of this crisis. Considering what the tenure of the current president now, when he was governor in Lagos State. So a lot of people, are hopeful. A lot of supporters are hopeful that, he would indeed make a change. And then also against the backdrop of the fact that the immediate past president is not as cerebral as he is, even though age, is a challenging factor. So some people are optimistic that he will do well. And then, the economists, a lot of the economists also are of the view that truly this is the best time to remove subsidy and this is the best thing to do, considering the fact that all of the other presidential candidates would have done the same thing if, they were in his shoes also. So, by and large, it is only time that will tell, whether it's a good decision and whether this decision was properly managed.
And now Barrister Liboros Ushoma was speaking from Nigeria to our reporter Babila Jonathan. However, says if well managed, the fuel subsidy will be profitable for the nation and her people. Once again, let's listen to him.
Currently, the government, the outgoing government, left with a debt of about 77 trillion naira or so, and with dwindling revenue from oil, so government will definitely certainly want to cut costs. And then for a government that has promised to hit the ground running, they will certainly look at, the humongous amount of money being plowed into subsidy, what an NPC called under recovery. and then, you know, find a way of completely removing it, so as to maybe have money to work with and then apply it to other sectors. I just hope that the money is judiciously used. If the money is properly used, then the long-term benefit will be enormous. But if it is not properly used, it is frittered away. So those are the challenges and the fears that, you know, people are entertaining. But by and large, there is mixed feelings. Some persons are expectant, while others are saying, okay, let's still wait to see what will happen with the new administration. But by and large, also, some other set of people have asked, is it that the subsidy is bad in itself, or is it that we really, you know, cannot, you know, manage subsidy because the money is going into private pocket? If it is going into private pocket, then government should be able to find a way to ensure that the money is used for what it is budgeted for. And also, some people are quarreling. Why is it that if refineries are not fixed, the refineries should be fixed first before you yank off subsidy? But I am also aware that the government the outgone government, you know, budgeted about $1.5 billion to quick fix the Kaduna and the Warri Port Harcourt refinery. So hopefully that should come up upstream, you know, towards the ending of the year. So some persons are saying that at least they should have waited. But with the dwindling finances, like your question rightly said, you know, when is the best time? I think there's never a best time to do it than now, because whether you delay the subsidy removal or not, you're still going to have all of this backlash and back effect.
And now we talk sports, viewers. Ahead of an international friendly encounter between Mexico and Cameroon on June 10, 2023, the Cameroon Football Federation has sent a note to the Ministry of External Relations to enable some 8 players get their way through to San Diego in the US of A. Curiously, amongst the 8 players is the name of Andre Onana. Smart Dikangiber has more.
Now, Cameroonian goalkeeper who plays for Internazionale of Milan in Italy has been in the country. His arrival came when many are still confused about his situation, whether or not he will call off his retirement and join the national football team after resigning at the end of the FIFA World Cup in Qatar 2022. While some say Andre Onana had a special authorization to come to Cameroon to face the disciplinary and ethics committee of FECAFOOT, who summoned him for misbehaving during the FIFA World Cup, others say it was a normal visit Andre Onana was making to Cameroon, as his club gave all players time off to cool down after the end of Serie A in Italy before going back to prepare for the final of the UEFA Champions League. While Andre Onana was still in the country, a media release leaked on social media. According to the document, the Cameroon Football Federation FECAFOOT was requesting that the Ministry of External Relations should facilitate the movement of some 8 players to San Diego in the United States of America for a friendly game that will pit Mexico to Cameroon on June 10, 2023. The players concerned are Onana Jean-Emile Junior, Abubakar Vincent, Yongwa Ngameni Dalen Zidane, Momi Ngamalo Nicolas Brice, Hongla Ima de Martin, Ganago Ignatius, Ondwa Ebogo Joseph Fabrice, and Onana Andre. Many curious sports lovers in the country are now asking why the special attention is paid on the 8 players, and many concluded that the presence of Andre Onana in the country was certainly to fix things with the FA and return to the national football team, whose fate of qualifying for the next AFCON in Ivory Coast is hanging in a balance.
Thanks, Matt. You don't go away. We continue talking sports after missing out with the senior men's football team for some years now. Fabrice Ondoa is back. He might be part of the squad to play in a crucial match against Burundi. Many say the call for Fabrice Ondoa might cause another Cold War within the den, with the expected return of Andre Onana also. Smart, you tell us, or you talked to some sports fanatics in the Southwest, and you put together the following reports.
The players whose names appeared on a document that leaked on social media was that of Andre Onana, the goalkeeper of Internazionale of Milan, who had earlier resigned from the national football team. Some sports analysts say the name of Onana on the list is not a problem.
They are all Cameroonians, and there is no squams calling them into a game or playing the same game. No, there's nothing wrong with that. Is it that they want to commonly say they are sorry by inviting Onana, or they want to commonly say they are sorry by inviting Ondoa? No, Cameroonians are tired.
Those whose names feature on that particular list, 8 of them. But the last 2 names on that list has really been the issue which has raised a lot of dust, that of Fabrice Ondoa and that of Andre. The very first one is that we know how Andre Ondoa left the national team at the just ended World Cup.
In 2017, when Cameroon won their last AFCON in Gabon, Fabrice Ondoa was at the cage while Andre Onana was a substitute goalkeeper. The relationship between Andre Onana and Fabrice Ondoa is alleged not to be very good. What will happen now that the 2 players will meet again?
Calling him is a good initiative, but him coming alongside Fabrice Ondoa, these are 2 top-class goalkeepers. In 2017, we saw a lot of controversy. Ondoa was there, we got the trophy. But with the superb form of Andre Onana at the moment, do you think it will be possible to call him and then keep on the bench? No country wants to go to a battlefield without taking all the generals. What we have now is how to contain the generals on the battlefield.
Andre Onana, as well as Fabrice Ondoa, had fascinating performances for their different clubs this football season.
What happened? Why was Ondoa rejected? That is my question. Why was he rejected at first? What happened with the case of Onana? How has it been handled?
Andre Onana is sure to be absent June 10 friendly against Mexico. The big question remains, who will be at the cage of the Lions during their must-win match against Burundi on the last day of the qualifiers for the AFCON. Only coach Rigobert Song Bahanek is fit to give an answer to the worries of many Cameroonians.
And those sports reports bring us to the end of this edition of the news. Thank you, viewers, for always according us your time. Don't go away. As usual, our programs continue. The news in the French language comes up at 8 p.m. and Serge Alangoto will be in the studio in about 30 minutes or so for Equinoxe. So stay with us on Equinoxe Television. Bye-bye for now and see you tomorrow, God willing.